So that's going to say start streaming. You can see here that now we're live. So what we want to do is we want to go ahead and jump back over to YouTube to confirm that we're now sending over our stream. So you see here that now we are live. Everything is ready to go. Excellent condition. You're going to see here that I can monitor my chat. And now everything is ready to go and I can start to go live with my audience. Now inside of OBS Studio, you're going to be able to manage your chat here on the left hand side. But if you want to go ahead and have overlays and graphics to make your stream look professional, you want to go to streamdesigns.com, and I'll put a link in the description of this video where you can get overlays for your stream. And the package that I'm using here today is going to be called Shadow, that you can go ahead and find on Stream Designs along with other packages. So this is going to be the Shadow package, and that's going to go ahead and include everything that I need to make my stream look professional. So you can see here that I'm going to go ahead and have my overlay screens, my panels, my alerts, everything that I need to make my stream look professional. So you can go to streamdesigns.com to be able to get overlays. And then once you go ahead and have your overlays to be able to know how to go ahead and get them all set up, go ahead and watch this video where I walk you step by step on how to set up overlays inside of OBS Studio to make your stream look professional.
I'll
see you guys in the next video.
I think that I'm live.
Want to know how I took my business to the next level? It's simple. It's Shopify. Shopify has all the tools in one place to run your business and design your website to match your brand. So you can turn your fans into customers.
So what I want to do is
See for yourself. Start your free Shopify trial today.
I'm going to go to here. Turn this off. If I could just find my chat, then I would be okay. Well, good morning, everybody. I'm going to go live here too, actually. To only access nearby. Not now. All right, so a couple of things. First of all, it is day number 7 for me not smoking. So, woo-woo. Got that going on. And I put out a video yesterday. It was this video. $10 million lawsuit. No qualified immunity for 2 LAPD officers. If there is a backstory, I think it was Lackluster Videos. I'm pretty sure it was Lackluster. I am a fan of his, so hashtag Lackluster. I guess somewhere in the comments when I finally get this out there or kind of work with it, then I will give a shout out to him. But I like the content that he has, the information that he gives. So if there's a model that I would follow as far as reviewing videos or body cam footage like this, then I would say he'd be a person that I go to. There's a couple of others as well, but certainly him being one of the people that I kind of admire as far as the work that they do. So I went to a website just doing some back research. It was, and if I recall correctly, I think it might have been top on my list of hits from Google. So, I mean, this is what came up. So, Black veteran arrested after calling 911, files $10 million lawsuit against LAPD officers in the city of Los Angeles. I could read the whole entire thing. In fact, it's not too long, so I'll just go ahead and read it. I'm not even going to try to. Well, I'll try. So, Judge Mam Uwusi Mensah, probably, I'm going to guess Nigerian. Rejected an appeal from LAPD lawyers last month to dismiss the case, ruling that officers Jeremy Wheeler and Jeffrey Yabana are not entitled to qualified immunity for unconstitutional detention, excessive force, retaliation, violation of due process, violation of the Americans with Disabilities Act, violation of the Bain Act, battery, false arrest, and imprisonment, as well as negligence, and that the city is vicariously liable for the officer's actions during the illegal arrest of Douglas. Yeah, I mean, that's enough to give you an idea of what this information told me. But from that, there were links that had videos, which is where I got the video footage. And there's information as far as what you can do for inquiries. Please contact and the number. So that's where I started my research into this particular case. I have had the opportunity or the need to call 911. In fact, I think I recall one time in my life calling 911 and just being concerned that I didn't want to have to go through the rigmarole. I think I was attacked after, being at the club. Didn't get it quite into a fight, but someone just came and kind of snuck me. One of those situations. But I've also heard other people indicate that they had concerns about calling 911. I bring this up because one of the comments, if I can find it, let me just play this. Do I have it muted? Let's see. So, technical difficulties and why. Why do we have technical difficulties? That's on. Wheeler is the first to make. Okay, so I can hear it there. Why can't I hear it here? That's interesting. So you cannot see, or at least you cannot hear the my live, or not my live, but my short, which is fine. Some of the, I mean, it's basically it's snippets from what ends up being the whole entire video. Again, in the description, there's going to be a link to that, and yeah, there's going to be a link there. Let me just check something real quick. I want to see, make sure. I just want to make sure that I am live. I can kind of see myself in there. And does it say how long I've been? Oh, been on there for... Yeah, I think that's me. So we're good. So this is a new process for me. When I say new process, I mean that I've done lives before, but I haven't done it quite in this way. I actually have TikTok up because, I have some people that watch me on TikTok. So how are you doing out there? If you want to see me on YouTube, you can go ahead and follow or go to YouTube and check me out there. At any rate, so what I was saying was, one of the comments that came up on my shorts was, someone wrote, and it's Jack Howard 2273. He mentioned, he did something about 6 hours ago. $10 million, question mark. It can be 50 millions. It's a crime to misuse 911. Anyone can file and lose a lawsuit. I agree. Obviously, anyone can file a lawsuit, and it takes going through the court process in order for it to be, at the end of the day, figure out what goes on. And then, of course, there's appeals, Supreme Court, all of that, which actually I am learning on some level how that all works. But there is no harm in trying to figure things out before you ever get to that case. I'm not purporting to be, I'm not a lawyer, first of all. So full disclosure. And secondly, none of what I'm saying is to be construed or misconstrued as advice. But on any level, it would be prudent for anybody to have some knowledge of what it is that they are faced with when it comes to the law. And it only takes a little reading to do so, or a lot of reading. I've said before, it's interesting how legalese is. I mean, you would think that it would be that on some level that it would be easier for us to be able to weed through laws, but the good old boy system, if you will, probably dictates that they have a system in place whereby we are bound to have representation. I mean, it's our right to have representation, but things are in place so that we have to rely on lawyers that have studied the law and figured all that stuff out. But a surf it and check, see if there's anybody else in here. There's nobody in here. In fact, don't go back there. I don't give you permission to go back there. You can see in the background there's a guy standing there, another officer standing off on his right shoulder. He actually begins to go back there in the beginning. And then here you see where he dials 911. He gets on the phone. And then the officer behind him, off to the right, says, well, we're going to arrest you. Now, if you are in my house, I've invited you in my house, I do have the ability, the right, to revoke my invitation to you. Absent a crime, absent warrants, you have the ability to say, you're no longer welcome in my house. And that's all that he did. And they refused to leave. So who are you going to call? Ghostbusters? I mean, who are you going to call in that instance when you're saying, I'm asking you to leave? One time, I'm asking you to leave. Please leave, sir. Like 7 times he says, please leave. He calls 911. So they put him in handcuffs. And then I guess in California it's called a 50-50, 51-51, whatever it is. I think I wrote it here. Anyway, basically it says that if you are perceived to be a danger to yourself, to someone else, or you're so disabled that you can't feed yourself or take well care of yourself, then they can put you on this hold. Again, all of that to say is that California has a penal code that talks about misuse of 911. So I'm going to bring it up for you. It's called California Penal Code 653Y, misusing 911. Now, this is some representation of this law or by this particular law group. They're not a sponsor or anything like that. It just happened to come up and it said something about it, so I'm reading it. California Penal Code 653Y PC imposes punishments for knowingly using 911 for non-emergency reasons. This offense is usually an infraction, but it can be charged as a misdemeanor if your intent was to harass someone. So she gives a couple of examples. I'm sure I could actually pull up what the law says. And just simply for the purposes of this live, all I really wanted to do was kind of bring up the fact that on the surface and the circumstances that I described, it doesn't even seem reasonable that you put me in handcuffs because I'm calling 911. Now, I believe, having watched the video, and the video is redacted on some level. They blur out faces. In fact, in the video, I say that they almost captured maybe more than what they wanted to capture, because all of the instances where the Officer Wheeler, I think it is, indicates to his supervisor that I'm rolling now, kind of giving him forewarning that we're being recorded, so watch what you say. He explains the situation, or he explains the situation, basically saying that this is what happened. He did this, and he was being disruptive or disorderly, so I had to put him in cuffs, and now he's complaining about shoulder pain. He wasn't saying that the cuffs were too tight. What he was saying is that he has an injury, that the positioning of the cuffs cuffs was bothersome to him, so he wanted them to put it in front, and they refused to do so. Anyway, long story short, yeah, I mean, I hope you do watch the video. I mean, you can take my word from what I'm describing. I'm trying to describe it as accurately as possible, and I didn't even really, I had no intention of reviewing my review of this video, but I just thought it was interesting. Some of the comments that I got, at least two of the comments, it's specifically the one I just read from that guy, or as TTA says, this guy, Jack Howard 2273. I'm not opposed to you expressing your opinion, but you seem to think that it could be any amount of money and anybody can file a lawsuit, which is all fair enough. I agree. Anybody can file a lawsuit, but and that it's a crime to misuse 911. I feel like everything that happens in this video that we can see does not warrant this man having gone to jail and all of the other things that followed, which is why I think this lawsuit exists. Now, it remains to be seen what happens during the lawsuit, and hopefully justice will be served. So, now, there's another side to the story that I found, which is here. I'm pretty sure there may not be a link in the description of this live, but there's certainly a link in the description to this article, which is one of however many that exist, by the way. It can have its own biases. It lists who he's being represented by and lists the information. I mean, it seems like a fair representation of the facts as they appear. So, I mean, I have no reason to believe otherwise, but I could dig as far as I can dig. And where my limitations, if you will, to this case kind of stop and begin here. So this is I don't know, again, court listener is not a sponsor of mine. I use it because it's a resource that is available to me. Sometimes there's plenty of information for you to weed through. Excuse me. And not being a lawyer, you might get lost in the shuffle of it all. So I am doing my own personal due diligence to figure out what all of this means. So bear with me if I misrepresent something. I don't intend to, but I feel like even just putting it out there, it's an interesting case to me, which is why I'm covering it. And when I say covering it, it's newsworthy, obvious to some entity, whether it's mainstream or, other people on the side, but it's interesting to me. And really that's all that matters. I'm sharing it with you guys because, I want to. So I want to see something because I'm just going to check something real quick. I'm just looking at my monitor, which I probably shouldn't do. Let me see. Okay. Back to what I was saying. Now, I actually have a button on my website that says buy me a coffee. I think it says if you insist. I don't know if anybody will ever do that. But if you ever want to think that you're getting something that I will absolutely use, I've never tried to use to buy any of the information that is contained here through this website. But apparently there might be a paid version of this, and there's a lot of them. But look at all these cases. This happened in 2019. So when he first filed initially in 2020, there is all these documents which you cannot have access to. Certificate of notice of interested parties, summons. There is some medical things that went on. Apparently, when he got to the hospital. Now, I don't know if I need to say allegedly, because I haven't laid eyes on these specific things that occurred, but allegedly, if you will, he may have been drugged, assaulted, catheterized, all these different things that can occur medically while he is out. I mean, assault. I mean, I can't imagine that all of this occurred because of a 911 call. And of course, before that, the call that happened from whoever it was within the VA call center or hotline that said, please go check on this person. He may be suicidal. I mean, was it retaliatory that person did that? I mean, it seems kind of strange that might happen, but I mean, anything's possible, and only the facts would prove it to be otherwise. So anyway, there's all this documentation that are in the courts on this particular case. Protective order. I looked at that one, but as you go through all of these, what I was able to pull up, which had plenty of information, was this PDF that occurred on October 3rd, 2023. And it's this right here. I don't know if you all can see that, if I should zoom in a little bit. So for those of you who are on TikTok, you can't see what is on YouTube, but I'm sharing my screen on YouTube. So you can head on over there and check that out. Check it out at the same time. I mean, stroke the algorithm, if you will. So anyway, there is United States District Court, Central District of California, Slade Douglas, an individual being the plaintiff, versus City of Los Angeles, Officer Ibana and Officer Wheeler, and does 1 to 10. I don't know what that part means. So and in this, there's only a very small background that indicates what the factual background is. But it says, on August 27th, 2019, LAPD officers Ibana and Wheeler, the officers, detained plaintiff Slade Douglas after responding to a call from the California Veterans Crisis Hotline about a potentially suicidal individual. Douglas alleges that the detention was unlawful and retaliatory. Defendants deny all allegations and assert that the officers' actions were lawful. And going through all of this information, I'm not going to read it. Maybe I'll spend some time reading it for you, so there might be a different type of a record, if you will. But again, I include the links to, I believe I include the links at least to this right here, and then you can go to to download the PDF. But like I said, if you want to buy me a coffee, I'm pretty sure it will go to digging into some of these cases. But I mean, I don't even know. Maybe it just has to be a membership. So anyway, that's what I did. But back to what I was saying, down at the end, you know, you go through the end. Sorry, I don't want to make you guys be all woozy. There's a lot of information. There's disputed issues of material fact with respect to plaintiff's retaliation claim. And there's 29 pages. I think I might have gotten to, 7 of them maybe. I haven't read all of it. But I thoroughly reviewed the footage that was available. But here's the judge's signature. And these are some of the things that conclude. So number 1, the motion for summary judgment is granted as to Douglas Monell's claim. I'm not certain what a Monell claim is, but I'm going to find out. One of you guys may put it in a comment, but I definitely will figure that out. Again, I haven't gotten to the end. I haven't done everything about learning about this particular case. But just above the conclusion, it says the court denies summary judgment with respect to all of the forms of state law immunity sought by the defendants, which is where the qualified immunity portion comes. Now, I have been seeing multiple people talking about qualified immunity lately. I know it's always been on the table as far as what people think about it. Whether the officer should have qualified immunity and all of those kind of things. And there are two pieces of prerequisites or requirements that need to be in place. It needs to be a constitutionally protected right, and that the reasonableness, or that I'm going to put it in the right words. I googled it previously. Let me see. I just want to make sure I'm saying it correctly. what it is that I want to say. Where do I want to look at it? Just give me 1 second. Bear with me, please. Qualified immunity. I just looked it up earlier today. Okay. So qualified immunity is a type of legal immunity that protects a government official from lawsuits alleging that the official violated plaintiff's rights, only allowing suits where officials violated a clearly established statutory or constitutional right. So one, there has to be a right that's been violated, and the quote-unquote violation has to be clearly established. So someone invited to go live together. I'm not prepared or set up to do that, so I'm not opposed to doing it one day, but today is not going to be the day. So, and that was on TikTok. So thank you for asking, but I mean, I only have, maybe 10 more minutes of this live. So, and maybe that's the thing that happens and I need to make myself aware of when people doing that. But anyway, so back to the conclusions. The motion for summary judgment is granted as to Douglas's Monell claim. The motion of summary judgment is granted as to Douglas's 10th cause of action for negligent supervision. And the motion for summary judgment is denied as to all other claims, namely as to Douglas' first cause of action for unconstitutional detention, second cause of action for excessive force, third cause of action for retaliation, fourth cause of action for violation of due process, fifth cause of action for violation of the ADA, sixth cause of action under the Bain Act, seventh cause of action for battery, eighth cause of action for false arrest, imprisonment, and ninth cause of action for negligence. It is so ordered. So, summary judgment is denied. Now, the judge is basically saying that they're just not going to order it. So, but there's going to be a trial that occurs for all of the other things. So, and then, but they did make a summary judgment with regards to qualified immunity. So, all of that to say, why did I come on this live? To talk about just the things that I did just now. And thank you all for joining. Those of you who have, if it's one person, it matters to me. So that's why I'm here. But, so that was the first instance, or first item. The other comment that I wanted to address was this guy. And let me see if you are able to see this at all. Just want to check. I don't know if I need to make it any bigger, but of all the comments, there is one by Ropey Substance 1719. Occurred 3 hours ago. I was asleep. But it says, pretty dumb and useless video. The cops did nothing wrong here. This is going to get laughed at and out of control. Now, I don't know if the same person, there was one person that, I think it was this ropey guy, but said something to the effect, and I don't like paraphrasing things, excuse me. Let's just make sure it wasn't here. One reply. Sorry. 10 million. It wasn't that one. Well, I will paraphrase. Let me refresh. See if it's possible that it's just not here. Abolish qualified immunity. Somebody wrote there. Here. That was me. Reply. That was me. 3 replies here. Anyway, the gist of what the comment that I read said something to the effect that African Americans need to do something and educate themselves, etc., etc. So, I mean, challenge accepted, if you will. think it's kind of ignorant to have been said the way that it was said. I didn't delete it. I wish I could find it right now. If I had my phone, I could see it from my phone. At least I know how to navigate to get to it. So my apologies for not being able to show it to you. But somewhere within the comments between the live and maybe it was on TikTok. That could be a possibility too. I don't know. Because between one of these, I don't know if it's TikTok or YouTube, which people are just, it's being shown to a bunch of people right now. So it's fine. I'm okay with it. And I'm appreciative of it. So anything else that I want to say about this? Not really sure. So I'll recant the things that I'm celebrating with regards to this particular video, the interest that I have. First of all, I now know, I said in one of my lives, or at least in one of my videos that I talked about, that I will be gathering cases that interest me that have camera footage. My personal journey with regards to First Amendment auditing, if you will, happened because of my mother and the situations of the business that I have to take care of her. I wanted to preserve the record that I myself had to go through for my mother so that my sister and I could communicate more effectively with information that was correct. I wanted to record it. The place that I went to do so was in the SSA building. Told me I couldn't record. So I started my journey, if you will, there. That's where it started. When I recorded the information, the cops were called. I wanted to present to the world also that this happened to me, but it turns out that I wasn't prepared correctly. I didn't have my camera battery ready. The memory card was not enough or something like that. So I had to rely on the police body cam footage in order to get the story and put it together and put it out there for everybody else. In doing so, in Indiana, which is where it occurred, I recognized that, one, I call him in this particular video, Mute Man Marcus. The officer's name was Marcus. I called him Mute Man Marcus, but he kept muting his body cam. Have a conversation with the supervisor, he would put it on mute. He'd go and unmute it when he kind of addressed me. He'd go and talk in private with somebody, he'd mute and unmute. Then at the end of the conversation, the end of the interaction, after I had left, they meet with the supervisors on the side of the building. And that interaction was muted. And the only reason why I know it was muted was because they parked their cars in such a way, and the the dash cam footage was continuously rolling the whole entire time. When they came back, they met with each other for 9 minutes. If you arrive on scene and your body cam footage automatically begins recording until it stops recording normally, and I'm including the time that your dash cam continues to record, then that information, you're continually gathering information for the investigation, then your damn body camera should be on. Why do officers affect the record? Because they want to say something in private and maybe clarify what they're saying, or they want to get their story straight. Just leave it on. That's all I'm saying. So that's kind of where my interest came in all of this when it comes to body cam footage. So I see a story or I see somebody do a video and it makes me think a certain way. I wonder why this happened, or wonder why they charged that person with this. If I can get the body cam footage or the calls or anything like that, and I'm interested in the story, then I'm going to try to get it. So that's how this stuff happened. I saw it somewhere. It was, to me, very interesting that someone called the cops, let them in, wasn't resistant or anything like that, and then he ends up in handcuffs. So that's what brings me here. I celebrate the fact that I've not smoked for 7 days. I celebrated the fact that more than one person has watched this video and they're responding, which is good as well too. So, and then I can continue to perfect my process as it relates to giving you all stuff that you appreciate, enjoy, or not enjoy, and then kind of redirect me in a certain way. So that's all I have. It's going to be a good day. I got to go and put up some insulation. Yeah, pretty much. I just want to thank you guys for joining me. The 32 minutes or however long, how long have we been on here? Let's see. I'm probably not doing it the most efficient way that I can with regards to like how do I address people that have commented. So I apologize for not doing that. I think I could have refreshed or some things, but I'm gonna get all that stuff kind of situated and I'll figure it out. So bear with me while I learn that process, okay? So I'm just thinking, not wasting time. Silence is not too bad, but I saw if I set a goal that I could set a target goal on TikTok, and it's like if I reach this goal, then I'll sing. Yeah, I don't even know what my goal was in my mind, but I'll check it out and figure it all out, and then we'll make the next one better. So I appreciate you guys all joining me. My name is Craig. I'm FAQ the Madness. That's my channel on YouTube. FAQ the Madness. If you look at it the way I have it there, my channel is about some of the things that I talked about. When I say some of the things that I talked about, I mean some of the issues that I talked about and why I will bring them up. But my desire is to give you all a certain type of rep. I know many of you all have heard that if you do not exercise your rights, then you lose them. So I look at the types of ways that I exercise my rights to respectfully, check out government officials and exercise my right and do so respectfully, and then publish the results of interactions, whether they be good or bad. And when I say good or bad, I don't mean just their interactions. I mean my personal interactions. I hold myself to a certain standard of treating people a certain way, and I think respect goes a long ways. Whether you are doing something bad or not, I have to go home, go to bed, and consider whether or not when I wake up or not the next day that I can live with myself as a man. So I choose to do so respectfully, exercise my rights, and publish my interactions with government officials. And whether it be from my camera, their own cameras, or someone else's camera that I review because they let me or they ask me to, then all of that will be done in that manner. So that's my goal. That's my desire. I hope to see you on the next one. I think this might probably show up, but I might break it down and edit it a little bit better so it all comes out clear and nice and pretty. But I do appreciate you, those of you that joined, and join me again. And I'm sorry I repeated myself so many times. So take care. Take care. Goodbye. Bye-bye. Now I just got to figure out how to end that one. End now. And hopefully this also ended, which I can go here. Let's do it over here. Well, is it?